Hello everyone, Jackie Ding here. We're back at PhD Lab, continuing work on the K-Swap S2000 Tarmac Rally Special Build. K-Series, K24, A2, basically all wrapped up already. We got a couple things to come still. It still needs an aftermarket fuel rail, it still needs some gaskets, and then we'll throw the rest of the kit back on. And then, and I'm very happy to report, we have most of the parts here to drop this engine into this car. And they are over here for us to take a look very quickly. First on the list, we have the clutch. This one is from Clutch Master. This is actually a decently powerful kit. This is called the FX400, built basically for their K-Swap application in the S2000 for that engine and that transmission combination. This, I believe, is an aluminum flywheel. I have to double check on that. The inside the clutch material is basically what they call the it's a 6-puck, I believe, design to be able to handle some heat. Since we're going eventually this powertrain, we'll see some road racing usage to it as well. We need something that will be able to handle heat, so that's pretty important. Next up, I'm pretty happy about this, Hasport engine mounts. We've been using these all the time anyway. If you look underneath there, that's all Hasport in there. That's Hasport literally in the car on the F-Series, so we know they will work, and you know, pretty easy just to go and buy one of these and say, hey, we need this, can you get it to us quickly, thank you very much. And Hasport already makes it basically for the S2000 K-Swap kit, is already ready, just buy this, easy. Next, JSP. Now this JSP is actually not, maybe a lot of S2000 people wouldn't know this as usually, but JSP is a company that does a lot of AE86 stuff, and you will see why that is in the coming weeks. Now, JSP makes this K-Series to F-Series transmission adapter plate. Comes with all the hardware, beautifully billet adapter plate. Super nice, and comes with dowel pins and everything. And just for mounting this up to the transmission, designed to work with this clutch and flywheel package actually. So everything should just bolt up nicely. Next, we have engine controls. Thank you, Heltec, for jumping on board this year for all of our programs pretty much, and they're supplying us with their Heltec Elite 1500 for controlling this unit, this little engine in that car, or maybe in other cars as well, you'll see. With this, their Elite 1500, and it comes with all the wiring for basically the RSX harness that is already installed pretty much. They have a direct harness that goes from this to this, and then also we got this. This is their IC7 display dash, and I can use this to really easily come up with all the sort of configurations on how I want this dash to look like. Plus, all the way on the top, that's some LED shift lights. That's gonna be really cool. Work is in progress for adapting this. I've removed it. I've done some background trimming already. You'll see, it's pretty cool. Last piece that we have at the moment is the 1320 K-Swap header for K-Series in S2000. Again, same sort of stuff. Everybody makes these things already. So this is pretty cool. Not really much to talk about, I don't think. You just bolt it on one side on the K-Series and the other should fit to the S2000 stock catalytic converter or test pipe, or however you would like to run it. A couple bungs, probably run the O2 sensor right here, and there you go. That's about it. So that's kind of what we have for this episode, and we're going to slowly start to put these on and see what we have coming next. I know through the last couple episodes I've been throwing around the word harness quite a bit, as in wiring harness, and there is quite a few wiring harnesses involved in this swap. Kind of basically we have the RSX, this is the like a RSX manual harness. We have the K-Miata universal wiring harness, and then this Heltec ECU wiring harness. So there is a lot of harnesses going on, so I'll try to do the best of my abilities, even though I'm not really electrical. I'm not proficient at that at all, but slowly I'll try to explain to the best of my abilities. The harness on the engine that controls basically everything that goes to these injectors, coils, all like the cam sensor, you know, position sensor, stuff like that. Now those have to get translated to the ECU to make the engine run. So that's what the Heltec harness does. This, and then this bricky looking converter, which has a nice logo on it and everything. This takes the data from this, from the engine, and translates it to the ECU, where you have another plug from the ECU onto this thing, and then it goes into that. In AP1 to AP2.1 S2000s, you need to buy something else to connect that harness to the rest of the vehicle so the car reads it too. Problem, this is an 06 to 09, so this is the AP2.2. This is the drive-by-wire model. And that creates a whole lot of trouble. When you're using a drive-by-wire car, things get a lot more complicated. Usually for AP1 to AP2.1, where it's all drive-by cable, there are less, people make off-the-shelf wiring kits for that. But for AP2.2, which is the drive-by-wire, which you could use a Honda Flash Pro on usually if you have an F-Series, now you can't. Now you can't do any of that, you know, the fancy, literally the plug-and-play swap harness, if you like, because nobody kind of makes one, not that I know of anyway. So we're having to use the K-Miata, K-Power, the universal swap harness to try and make that work. It's not the clearest of explanations, because honestly, I'm as in the dark about all this as you are, potentially. But if you have any, you know, insights into how those work, leave them in the comments. That would be great. That would be really helpful. But that's kind of my understanding of this whole thing, because, you know, we wanted to get something that will plug one side into Heltec, one side basically into the Heltec / engine, the other side into the car, so then the car can communicate with the rest, and that wouldn't work. So then that's why the stock dash wouldn't work. We had to go to the Heltec IC7, which I want to do anyway. Saves us a lot more trouble down the line. I don't need to deal with the immobilizer, since it doesn't have a stock ECU anymore. I accidentally sold that. It has things like that, things of that nature we don't have to deal with. And just make sure the car runs, it gets what it needs, and the rest is good. Only what we need.
2 weeks later.
Alright friends, I must confess, it's been a few weeks. I went home for holidays. I had to enjoy a little bit of off time with my family. My mother had some health issues. I had to go home, so on and so forth, but we're back. And well, in the time that I was gone, a lot of progress has been made. Look at it. Here we are. The K is already in the car. Came out of intake manifold. We got a radium fuel rail with the pressure regulator and everything. So it's gonna reuse whatever return system that I did the conversion on, but when we did a supercharger last time. The engine is already in, 1320 header. Required quite a lot of chopping to get it to actually line up and fit, and so that was a whole nother issue. Hasport engine mounts are in there. These are actually pretty funny. So the radiator hoses, we bought 2 of the same ones, and then they just kind of both fit in the same position. You chop them, you know, one top, one bottom, they're both the same exact product code. They're Gates 21707. So that's interesting. That's pretty much what we've been up to. Oil is in, coolant is in. There's something else I really wanted to show you guys, which is inside the car. Interior is still a little bit of a mess, but I'm slightly proud of it, okay? The Heltec dash actually fits pretty freaking well. It's got like a protective cover on it for now, so when it's actually go time, I'm gonna be able to peel that off. It's still gonna have the shift lights at the top. It's gonna have all the informations, and well, I'll switch out the steering wheel just so we don't have airbag sitting in my face and potentially blowing out in case of any contact, which there might be. Happy to finally get back into this. Had to take a break. This is gonna keep going, and tomorrow we're gonna be back to finish up the wiring and all of that. Small fuel leak, a couple more wiring relay issues, but at least it runs. Good.